The release date for Diddy's upcoming documentary has finally been unveiled. Sean Combs. The Reckoning is set to drop on Netflix on December 2nd. 50 Cent couldn't resist adding his signature flair, captioning his post, "They said I was capping. What happened?" Fans were left wondering if he was joking or if the project was really happening, but now it's clear. This is the real deal. Multiple media outlets have confirmed it, so 50 isn't trolling this time. Given 50 Cent's history and his connection to the Diddy trial, there's already speculation about just how revealing this documentary might be. People are buzzing, and it wouldn't be surprising if Diddy himself is feeling a bit of heat ahead of the release. After all, 50 has a reputation for not holding back, and audiences are eager to see what's finally going to make it to the screen. Let's not forget that during the Diddy trial, there were allegations suggesting that Diddy was trying to impress 50 Cent. And anyone who knows 50 knows he doesn't hold back. He's constantly trolling Diddy. So the anticipation is real. This documentary is shaping up to be a full-blown takedown, and it's safe to say Diddy might be in for a rough ride. Honestly, this is the kind of documentary you watch just to see how 50 Cent pieces it all together, especially given his insider perspective and sharp storytelling style. Even Jay-Z seems to be moving fast to stay out of the blast zone now that Netflix has officially confirmed the release. The series promises to dive into not just Diddy, but everyone connected to him in that orbit, which has people on edge and buzzing with speculation. When discussing his involvement in the project, 50 Cent acknowledged that he's long claimed to know Diddy's character but has never been part of that lifestyle. He wasn't hitting the parties or running that scene. So how could he be so certain about the allegations that have circulated? He admits he was just as surprised as everyone else when the accusations came out. "I didn't make these allegations. I didn't tell anyone to say anything," he clarified. "I see it in the news like everybody else." Still, he admitted that certain behaviors had made him uncomfortable. For instance, the way Diddy would present the idea of partying in certain projects with him made 50 Cent wary, and that alone was enough to steer him away. He didn't anticipate the full extent of what would later surface. Claims from 3 men alleging Diddy had drugged them, and other serious accusations. Even for someone like 50 Cent, who's seen a lot behind the scenes, it was shocking to witness how much has come to light. This documentary isn't just entertainment. It's a window into the hidden dynamics of a high-profile world, told from someone who's both an observer and a provocateur. With 50 Cent at the helm, it's likely to be unfiltered, explosive, and absolutely unforgettable. When people forget trauma for decades, it's hard not to feel the weight of it, and that makes the allegations against Jay-Z especially complex. At first, I didn't know exactly what to make of them. I was asking, where's Jay in all this? Because during the Buffy situation, he stayed remarkably quiet. But now it's clear that his team was aware of what was happening behind the scenes. The hope is that things get resolved, because the internal dynamics of his family make the situation even more intense. Rumor has it, the Netflix documentary might include actual video clips that could ignite a whole new wave of questions about him. As for 50 Cent, I won't lie, I initially thought he was trolling. He's notorious for hitting hard when people are already down, and Diddy seemed to be in a low spot for a long time. It even looked like Fifth might have been out to make Diddy pay, perhaps hoping for serious consequences in court. Some speculate that part of that drive was personal, tied to conflicts with Diddy's relationships and baby mothers. Whatever the motivation, it's clear 50 Cent wasn't joking when he announced plans to create the documentary, originally referred to as Did He Do It? Fast forward to now, and the plan is officially coming to life. Netflix has confirmed the release, with Variety and multiple media outlets reporting the details. The documentary series, executive produced by Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, is titled Sean Combs, The Reckoning, and is set to premiere on December 2nd. Fans who may have doubted 50's intentions can rest assured. He's serious, and the countdown is on. This documentary promises to be a deep dive into Diddy's life, legal battles, and the web of relationships surrounding him, told through the lens of one of the sharpest and most provocative voices in hip-hop. Between potential revelations, behind-the-scenes footage, and 50's unfiltered perspective, it's shaping up to be a must-watch that will have the internet buzzing well into the holiday season. The upcoming documentary, Sean Combs, The Reckoning, is officially locked in to drop on Netflix on December 2nd, with 50 Cent serving as executive producer. This move is a strategic power play from 50, one only someone with his influence and track record could pull off. Let's be real, 50 has never pretended to be a model citizen. While he may not carry the same allegations as Diddy, he's 50 Cent. His reputation for stirring controversy and calling it like he sees it is well known. Some documentary projects, like the R. Kelly exposés, often put the woke voice in the forefront to narrate the story. But here, 50 isn't holding a megaphone to soapbox moral lessons. He's bringing his raw, unfiltered perspective, which makes the project feel far more personal and confrontational. Meanwhile, leaked footage from inside federal facilities featuring Diddy has already surfaced online, adding another layer of chaos and speculation. The negative attention is mounting, not just for Diddy, but for anyone in his inner circle, including Jay-Z. Social media is buzzing, and people are asking, who's next? When discussing power dynamics, the question arises, how influential was Jay-Z during these interactions? By the time 50 met him and signed to Roc Nation, Jay-Z was already a major player, capable of shaping careers or derailing reputations. 50 Cent has made it clear that he never wanted to be dragged into the extreme theatrics of the industry, the metaphorical swimming in black goop, or wearing devil horns to sell a record was never for him. He stayed true to his own path, but he also knows just how far-reaching the influence of someone like Jay-Z or Diddy can be. The documentary promises to pull back the curtain not only on Diddy's empire, but on the mechanics of power, influence, and protection at that level. 50 Cent has also hinted at the kind of resources that come into play: money to hire lawyers, security, and even influence within law enforcement. Essentially, with enough capital and connections, you can make serious problems disappear: payments to lawyers, security personnel with law enforcement ties, and even handlers to manage situations behind the scenes. While some of this is speculative, it underscores how wealth and power create layers of protection, making accountability a complicated affair. In short, Sean Combs, The Reckoning isn't just a documentary. It's a deep dive into the intersections of fame, influence, and secrecy in the hip-hop industry, seen through the lens of one of the game's most unfiltered voices. With 50 Cent at the helm, audiences should expect nothing short of revelations, controversy, and a behind-the-scenes look at how the business really works. The unfolding saga around Diddy has just taken another dramatic turn. According to sources, over the past 2 decades, 50 Cent has allegedly been quietly amassing evidence tied to Diddy's alleged operations, meticulously documenting everyone involved. Now, with the documentary rollout in full swing, it's clear this isn't just online chatter. It's real, and the world is watching. New allegations have emerged, this time from a Florida-based music producer named Jonathin Hay. ABC News reports that while Hay resides in Florida, the alleged incidents occurred in Los Angeles. Hay claims that in September 2020, Combs engaged in sexual acts in front of him and demanded oral sex. Then, in 2021, he alleges that CJ Wallace, the son of the notorious B.I.G., took him to a location where 2 men covered his head before Combs allegedly assaulted him multiple times. Hay is now part of a civil lawsuit filed against Combs in July. At present, Combs is serving time in Fort Dix, New Jersey, following a conviction earlier this year on 2 prostitution-related charges. His representatives have yet to respond to these latest claims. Reports indicate that 50 Cent's documentary isn't designed to sensationalize social media rumors. Instead, it's set to explore the alleged inner workings of this criminal network, highlighting who is involved and how the operation functioned behind the scenes. Rumors suggest Combs may have cooperated with federal investigators at some level, though nothing resembling the high-profile takedowns of infamous crime figures has been confirmed. Sources indicate that the investigation has been tightly controlled by Homeland Security Investigations, HSI, so much so that even agents involved in a recent raid reportedly didn't know the target until arriving on site. Adding another layer of intrigue, allegations have surfaced that Diddy allegedly used his network to pay off law enforcement, reportedly through his chief of security, who, interestingly, also served as Michael Jackson's chief of security. If true, It illustrates the reach and complexity of the alleged operation and why authorities have approached the investigation with extreme caution. In short, the situation isn't just about headlines or gossip. It's a tangled web of allegations, federal scrutiny, and decades of behind-the-scenes maneuvering. The combination of legal claims, leaked footage, and 50 Cent's upcoming documentary is shining a harsh light on a world that was largely hidden from public view, and the revelations are only just beginning to surface. Not everyone is buying into the idea that Diddy was bribing law enforcement or orchestrating favors behind the scenes. Some argue that high-profile figures often keep law enforcement close simply as a power move or to maintain access, not necessarily to pay them off. Diddy's relationships with influential brands like Diageo and Estee Lauder, for example, showcase his knack for leveraging connections to expand his empire beyond hip-hop and build credibility in broader business circles, much like Epstein did with powerful political figures, though in a far more notorious context. According to insiders, the upcoming documentary isn't designed to sensationalize or dramatize these connections. Instead, it aims to break down the mechanics of Diddy's operation step by step, peeling back the curtain on how decisions were made, alliances formed, and influence wielded. Meanwhile, Diddy's legal situation remains tense. Reports indicate that President Trump has been seriously weighing a commutation for him, even though Diddy hasn't yet been transferred from Brooklyn's NBC to a federal facility. The mere possibility of presidential intervention has sparked a mini firestorm within the White House, with some staffers urging caution. Sources suggest Trump's team is divided, with some advocating for clemency and others warning against it. Adding to the intrigue, there are whispers that the documentary itself may have triggered a new federal investigation into Diddy. Industry insiders are watching anxiously, aware that the evidence compiled in the film could have far-reaching implications. If true, this would explain the sudden intensity surrounding the case and why so many people in Diddy's orbit are staying silent, careful not to appear on camera or incriminate themselves before federal authorities intervene. The rumor mill suggests a familiar pattern. Diddy has historically leveraged situations to gain an upper hand, whether against rivals or within his industry. Those in his network reportedly hope to avoid being implicated, praying that any incriminating footage remains unseen until authorities decide it's time to call them in. The strategy seems to be avoiding exposure at all costs, until and unless the feds formally request testimony. In short, this isn't just a story about fame, fortune, and controversy. It's about the interplay of power, strategy, and legal maneuvering at the highest levels. Between the documentary, potential clemency, and ongoing federal scrutiny, the industry and the public are on edge, waiting to see what unfolds next in a saga that could redefine Diddy's legacy entirely. The tension is building, and insiders warn that once the truth comes out, it won't be favorable for anyone involved. Imagine 250 cameras tracking every move in a household. People have been caught in even the smallest indiscretions, like sneaking a cookie from the jar. That's the kind of scrutiny that comes with immense power. You don't reach that level without having a few UPS tucked away in your back pocket. These latest allegations are just one fragment of a sprawling legal web, over 100 civil cases currently lined up against Sean Diddy Combs. And the stakes are staggering. One solid criminal conviction could put both Diddy and Jay-Z behind bars for life, sending shockwaves through the entertainment industry. Adding to the pressure, Combs' prison release has now been delayed to June 2028, a month later than previously expected. Reports surfaced claiming he had been drinking while incarcerated, something he firmly denies. His participation in a specialized rehab program at Fort Dix, which could have reduced his sentence by up to a year, was cited as proof of his compliance and commitment to rehabilitation. Another wrinkle came in the form of an alleged prohibited three-way phone call. NBC News spoke with Combs' representative, Judah Angelmere, who clarified that while a three-way call did occur, one of Combs' lawyers brought a third party onto the line. It was not improper in content. However, Angelmere acknowledged that such calls are not typically allowed, and the lawyers involved should have been more cautious. Regarding the drinking allegations, Angelmere was emphatic. Combs has not consumed alcohol in prison and is fully enrolled in Fort Dix's specialized rehab program. Not only does this reflect his compliance, but it could also potentially shorten his sentence, underscoring a legal strategy that balances accountability with opportunity for early release. Taken together, these developments highlight the complexity and high stakes of Combs' current situation. Between multiple civil suits, potential criminal exposure, and the careful navigation of prison rules, Diddy's path forward remains fraught with risk, but also with avenues for mitigation if managed correctly. The entertainment world and legal observers are watching closely, knowing that every small detail could shift the balance in a case that has already captured national attention. Sean "Diddy" Combs is setting the record straight about life behind bars, firmly denying recent claims that he was caught drinking homemade alcohol in prison. Serving a 4-year sentence for 2 convictions, the rap mogul's spokesperson told People on November 9th that these reports are false and reckless, emphasizing he has not violated any prison rules. His sobriety and self-discipline are priorities, and he is taking them seriously. The 56-year-old was recently transferred from the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn to a low-security facility in New Jersey. TMZ had reported that he allegedly concocted a fermenting mixture of Fanta, sugar, and apples, which could turn into alcohol after 2 weeks. The spokesperson pushed back, noting, "This is only his first week at FCI Fort Dix. Unfortunately, rumors will always surface, but we ask the public and media to give him the benefit of the doubt, privacy to focus on personal growth, and grace to move forward in peace." Diddy's inner circle remains tight. Jay-Z has been his confidant for decades and, according to Diddy, is the only person who knows all his secrets. Meanwhile, footage from Fort Dix shows Diddy reporting to work in the facility's media library. He arrives, removes his jacket and scarf, and settles into a role that resembles managing a public school library. This assignment is part of the Life Connections program, an 18-month rehabilitation initiative designed to guide inmates toward personal growth, spiritual development, and engagement with charitable work. Participation in this program can help shorten his sentence. In the media library, Diddy assists fellow inmates by providing access to religious materials, movies, and other resources. Observers noted him moving a TV and organizing content for the library, a far cry from his initial duties in the laundry room when he first arrived. The progression from laundry work to the library is being viewed as a promotion within the prison system, signaling not only trust from the facility staff, but also Diddy's active engagement in rehabilitative efforts. Through these responsibilities, he's not only helping fellow inmates but also demonstrating discipline and focus, redefining his time behind bars with structure and purpose, rather than chaos. It seems like Diddy may have started in the laundry room and then used his connections, or at least some savvy maneuvering, to land a more favorable assignment in the prison's media library. Meanwhile, outside those walls, the pressure keeps mounting. With over 100 witnesses stepping forward, questions are swirling about whether someone might drag Jay-Z into the spotlight as well. King academics jumped in after Netflix confirmed the documentary, reminding everyone that 50 Cent has been quietly stacking mountains of evidence aimed not just at Diddy, but at everyone allegedly tied to his operations. Many have overlooked a crucial point. Diddy was convicted on RICO charges, yet none of the alleged accomplices were found guilty. That disparity alone has left observers questioning how the legal system handled the case. Adding fuel to the fire, the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department confirmed an active investigation into a sexual assault claim against Diddy, filed by Rihanna's former publicist, Jonathin. Hay also recently identified himself as a John Doe who had previously filed a lawsuit against Diddy earlier this year. The details of this investigation are startling. In 2020, Hay entered a recording deal with CJ Wallace, Biggie's son, collaborating on the Big Papa House mix alongside Diddy and members of Frank White's team. Hay alleges that during this period, he walked in on Diddy watching adult content and engaging in sexual acts involving a Biggie t-shirt that was being prepared for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Hay claims Diddy laughed, threw the shirt at him, and said, "Rest in peace, Biggie." The allegations become even more disturbing when Hay claims that CJ Wallace and Willie Mel allegedly lured him into a private meeting where Diddy purportedly tried to assault him, instructing everyone else to leave the room. Notably, CJ Wallace filed a lawsuit against Hay just last week, asserting that these allegations are false. Diddy has categorically denied all accusations, labeling them false and meritless, and says he is prepared to fight the claims in court. Despite these denials, the LAPD's active investigation underscores the seriousness of the situation, as authorities attempt to determine the veracity of the claims. Meanwhile, the industry watches closely, knowing that high-profile figures were reportedly present during some of Diddy's more controversial freak-off footage. The combination of legal scrutiny, past convictions, and ongoing investigations has placed Diddy at the center of a storm that could have far-reaching consequences, not just for him, but potentially for others in his inner circle. Despite the chaos swirling around him, one person somehow emerged unscathed. As more evidence surfaces, speculation is growing that the figure captured on those controversial tapes wasn't just any celebrity, it was allegedly Jay-Z. Meanwhile, reports suggest that Diddy is now fully cooperating with federal authorities, prepared to reveal whoever the investigators want. Gone Deal even corroborated this, claiming firsthand that he witnessed Diddy operating as a confidential informant for the government. This raises questions about how all of this might affect the mountain of civil lawsuits Diddy is facing. After the federal indictment and subsequent criminal charges, civil claims started pouring in rapidly, almost like a deluge. The pace was overwhelming, and each case carried its own unique allegations. Some of the civil suits, like the one filed by Cassie Ventura, have already been settled, and the criminal verdicts could influence certain aspects of these cases. While a criminal acquittal can't automatically dismiss civil claims, it does provide a strong reference point for Diddy's defense. In criminal court, the burden of proof is beyond a reasonable doubt, the toughest standard in the legal system. Civil court, on the other hand, operates under a much lower bar, the preponderance of evidence. Essentially, if the court believes there's a 51% chance he engaged in the alleged conduct, he can be found liable, which usually results in financial damages rather than jail time. Even with some favorable outcomes in criminal court, Diddy still faces an uphill battle. These civil cases, although paused at times, are moving steadily through the legal system and are unlikely to vanish. Unlike criminal proceedings, civil plaintiffs aren't bound by the same stringent standards, and Diddy doesn't enjoy the same Fifth Amendment protections in civil court as he does in criminal proceedings. Does that look like the face of someone serving serious federal time? Many viewers emphatically said no, and the internet immediately erupted with memes and jokes. 50 Cent didn't waste a second taking aim at Diddy the moment the footage went public. According to him, Diddy's grin wasn't fear or worry. It was pure satisfaction. As 50 quipped, Diddy was exactly where he wants to be, surrounded by handsome men. This is classic 50, relentless when it comes to Diddy. He's never pulled punches, and this instance was no exception. Even during Diddy's sentencing, 50 was going full throttle, submitting letters to the judge urging the harshest possible punishment. In those letters, he detailed just how dangerous Diddy could be and warned that releasing him prematurely might endanger victims if retaliation ever came into play. The allegations tied to these tapes have sent shockwaves. Justin Bieber appeared on one of them, and according to reports, he seemed underage at the time. Usher was also spotted, unmistakably young in appearance. Some accounts even claim that Usher was the one who allegedly introduced Bieber to Diddy. Courtney Burgess, speaking on the Too Strong YouTube channel, began naming several high-profile figures captured in these videos. He further alleged that Danny Boy appeared in one of these recordings alongside Mary J. Blige and Diddy. According to Burgess, Danny Boy claimed that at age 15, Mary J. Blige had flown him to New York and engaged in sexual activity with him while he was underage. The reports also included claims involving Jaden Smith, son of Will Smith, suggesting he appeared in some of the footage. Beyond video evidence, Burgess mentioned that photographs allegedly exist showing Diddy in compromising situations with young girls. The sheer weight and notoriety of these claims have left the public reeling, compounding the already intense scrutiny around Diddy's legal and personal life. Sources claim that Justin Bieber, Jaden Smith, and several other young individuals were allegedly involved in these disturbing scenarios, with some reports suggesting Diddy engaged in sexual activity in front of them. Burgess also mentioned multiple entertainment figures being implicated, adding to the already explosive nature of the claims. He even recounted receiving pressure to relinquish tapes, saying, "I don't know what you're talking about," highlighting how tightly controlled these materials were. The stakes couldn't be higher. With over 100 civil lawsuits stacked against him, it wouldn't take much for one strong case to trigger a full-blown criminal investigation. As more victims come forward and their accounts align, a recognizable pattern emerges, suggesting a systematic web of coercion and manipulation rather than isolated incidents. Here's the part that terrifies the powerful. Civil court operates differently than criminal court. In civil proceedings, Diddy can't plead the fifth or hide behind layers of legal maneuvering indefinitely. He can be compelled to testify, produce evidence, and answer questions under oath. Each response a potential landmine. One misstep could dramatically shift the course of these cases.
Control over the narrative is slipping fast.
Leaked footage is circulating widely. 50 Cent's documentary is set to hit Netflix, and witnesses who actually viewed the so-called freak-off tapes are starting to speak publicly. Diddy even attempted to sue one witness for $100 million but failed, and now that same individual may appear in 50 Cent's documentary, revealing everything they know. Meanwhile, Jay-Z is keeping a low profile, avoiding cameras and sidestepping questions, clearly wary of having his name surface in the documentary. The looming question for the public: is Jay-Z merely guilty by association? Or does his involvement run deeper? For those following this unfolding saga, it's a tense moment where legal strategy, celebrity influence, and public scrutiny intersect, and the coming weeks may bring revelations that shake the industry to its core.